Chicago is a huge destination on America's Great Loop, and today we're going to show you from start to finish what you can do in one day in Chicago. We have been in Chicago for a few days now in the Monroe Harbor mooring fields, and it's been a little rocky and rolly, not too bad. Today is all about exploring new things though. You can't come to Chicago without at least trying to do an architectural tour through the Chicago River. They do offer boat tours, but today we are doing a kayak tour. We're really excited. It'll be 3 hours long, and it looks like the sun's out today, so it's gonna be a perfect day for it. Today we're gonna be met with two other loopers that you've seen on previous videos. That's Chris and Lisa from Tailored for Two, and Tracy and Stuart from Doghouse. Last time we were together was in Annapolis, Maryland, but that's one of the great things about the loop is you meet people along the way and you loop frog and take different schedules, but you come back together eventually.
Tour started just north of downtown near Goose Island, and we just learned some of the history of Goose Island with the Irish immigrants who came and dug out the back channel to Goose Island. And Goose Island right now, it has the Mars Wrigley gum and candy testing and research facility, as well as it was the original place for the Goose Island beer. So this pier to my right is used for the fireworks, and they have these firework cannon looking things on the top, and they use it through Memorial Day to Labor Day for fireworks at the Navy Pier every Wednesday and Saturday. It's a benefit of being here before Memorial Day or by Memorial Day. Left we have the Montgomery Ward building that used to have, it was kind of like the old Amazon of its time, and it had the catalogs that they would send out, and people would order things based off the catalog. And so it was the largest building of its time, which is really cool because as we're like going through and we're learning about this history, it's so interesting to think about like the pre-Amazon days and learning about how the workers would wear skates to get around and navigate the building efficiently and quickly. Was it the breeze?
Oh, the breeze was really nice coming through the shaded bridges. It's hot today.
The Merchandise Mart was once the largest building in the world, and it had its own zip code. It is in the Art Deco style, and you can tell some of the defining features of this building are its very vertical windows and its like curved edges. So there's not a very like 90-degree edge on either of its corners. And on my right, we're passing the Chicago River Walk, which is really cool because it's a new development that's been going on for several years, and they kind of been doing it in sections. And there's all these little vendors and restaurants, little like cool things to do right along the river walk. So there's ice cream, there's cafes, there's little like tiki bars and tiki huts, and then you can walk all along it with a beautiful view of the river. It's really, really beautiful here.
Now we are turning around.
We were just learning about the corncob buildings, which are a little bit further down the river, as well as the Britannica building, which is for Britannica, like the encyclopedia. Now this building, the Britannica Encyclopedia building, it was originally larger, but they shortened it to make room for a wider bridge, which is kind of cool. It's no longer symmetrical.
We're coming up to the end of our kayaking tour. We are taking the other side of Goose Island now. And it's kind of interesting, like having the tour up here, you get to see a very different side of Chicago. Maybe even an older side of Chicago compared to the Riverwalk area, which we're going to be cruising through tomorrow on our boat, which will be really fun.
Over to my left, which was on my right until Elliot started paddling backwards, is the Wild Mile, and it's a partnership with REI, Urban Rivers, and the Shed Aquarium to bring a natural element to this urban river. And so there's this garden, a floating garden, that has natural and non-invasive species that has really helped bring back some of the birds, some of the fish, and create a habitat for them to either lay eggs, eat, sun protection, lots of different benefits. And it's continuing, the project is continuing, and so they're trying to bring it further down in this offshoot on the, I guess, eastern side of Goose Island.
The kayak tour was fantastic. It was just such an interesting way to see the city. And coming up here, we went around Goose Island and the north branch of the Chicago River, which you do not go on the loop. So that was really cool. I highly recommend this tour. We did it with Kayak Chicago. And now, what do you do after you've been working out all day? Getting it on the kayak? Let's get some food. Chicago is a foodie paradise. Now we've already gotten Chicago pizza and Chicago hot dogs, so we're gonna go just way off the rails and just get something different. So we've come to Emma, or Emma, I don't know how to pronounce it, which was a highly rated Mediterranean restaurant. The sweet, crispy Brussels sprouts and the fried potatoes alongside a falafel sandwich was amazing. Highly recommend coming here to Ema. And they just said bye to our looper friends for the day. We'll be seeing them further down the loop. And now, let's go somewhere with a view.
Going up to the sky deck, they have this museum that you can kind of walk through and learn about the city of Chicago and its history. And one of the prominent things about Chicago's history is the Chicago Fire. So you get a great understanding of the fire, how it happened, and just about how much of the downtown area went up in flames. And what's really inspiring about the story is just how they didn't let that tear them down. They used that as a way to rebuild. And they rebuilt, obviously, with new fire technology, new building codes, and improved city planning.
One of the crazy feats of engineering they did here in Chicago is they reversed the Chicago River. Now tomorrow we're going to be cruising down the Chicago River, so make sure you stay tuned for that video. We're going to go over and kind of give the background of why that was historic, not necessarily in a good way, but especially not for the Missourians. But it's really interesting.
You're on your way to the top of the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere.
Crazy. We're done with Lake Michigan.
I know. Oh my gosh. You see out and you don't see to the other side. You can't see to the other side of land because that's how big it is.
It's the Chicago River. We're gonna be going that way tomorrow. Going that way, and then it joins with the other river, and then becomes the Illinois River, all the way yonder. The sky deck here in Willis Tower is the world's tallest observation deck, and the views over Lake Michigan and Chicago are just amazing. And we can see the Monroe Harbor mooring field, which is where Pivot is.
So we say, hi Pivot.
Hey Ollie, hope you're doing well. Doesn't look too rocky, which is good. Looks like a beautiful day. From this high, there's like, it's like glass. I'm sure down there it's anything but wow.
So cool. Pivot. Just don't look down. Don't look down. So you guys That was awesome, but now we're gonna wrap up our evening.
Doc House invited us to the second city, which is the comedy club in the town, and unfortunately we just had too much to do tonight to come visit, but adding that to the list for next time. If you guys enjoyed our one day in Chicago, which was pretty action-packed, make sure you guys give us a like and subscribe to see our further journeys on the loop. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Remember, it's all on the hips. Get your ab workout. There. Oh. Whoa. Oh, actually, paddle for this one.
Oh yeah, act like you've been paddling the whole time.
Hey, gentle, gentle, gentle. Hey, hey, hey! What are you doing now? Come.
Smudge us all over the camera.
Huh?
Lean back. Oh, this is wild, eh?